Precedent-setting legal case is unfolding in the British Columbia Supreme Court. It's a custody battle over frozen embryos, and the fight is between a husband and wife who are divorcing. She wants to keep the embryos, he wants them destroyed. The case raises ethical questions about custody and about consent, and as Robin Gill reports, there are no easy answers.
JUANITA NOTT is at BC Supreme Court with an unusual request. She wants sole custody of 4 frozen embryos.
These embryos have the right to life, and I have the right to have another child, and this is my only opportunity to do so.
9 years ago, the 43-year-old and her soon-to-be ex-husband first stored these embryos at this fertility clinic. They did produce 2 children. Now, as part of the divorce, they must divide what's considered an asset.
It's not something like a couch. It's not even something like a special piece of property or a cottage that someone's fallen in love with. These are unborn life forms. These are, I call them, potential persons in waiting.
Greg Knott wouldn't comment, leaving it up to his lawyer.
My client's not overly concerned with it. His focus remains on his 2 children.
The courts in this case must decide whether this woman has the right to procreate and whether her husband has the right not to. And in this situation, he doesn't want any more children.
These are materials of life, and so are we going to think about it as just like, again, as properties that I would just decide later on, or do we want to say that we have to have more respect for these materials for life, and to say that, well, we need to make a decision right now, otherwise there may be other kinds of consequences later on that we're not prepared for.
6 years ago, a couple in Britain went through a similar legal dilemma with frozen embryos. When they split, she still wanted to be a mother. He didn't want to pay support for a child that wasn't born yet. The court sided with him, and the embryos were destroyed because the law requires consent from both parties for storage and implantation. There is no similar law in Canada, and adding to the legal wrinkle, the BC Family Act is about to change to acknowledge reproductive technologies.
The father will not be the legal parent of this child if she implants the embryo and has a baby.
And therefore, he won't have any financial obligation for a future child. JUANITA NOTT, who also has 2 adult children from a previous relationship, insists she's fine with that.
We're willing to waive all child support, responsibility, anything.
For now, the embryos will be preserved until the divorce trial. Robin Gill, Global News, Vancouver.